this part ay dinrawing ko lang yung mga hydraulics equipment na makikita or magagamit sa hydraulics lab. This experiment aims to familiarize the student sa mga equipment. And may 13 equipment akong dinrawing, pero di ko na siya pinakita sa video. But for the next part of the video, the other members will going to explain it one by one.
The first instrument that we are going to talk about is the digital manometer. So what is a digital manometer? A manometer is an instrument that is used for measuring pressure in meteorological settings, as well as operations of compressor systems. There are two main types of manometers, analog and digital. So how does a digital manometer work? Unlike traditional manometers, digital manometers do not rely on a hydrostatic balance of fluids, water or mercury, in order to detect pressure. Rather, they come with a component known as a pressure transducer that converts the level of pressure observed into an electrical signal value. The value then can be recorded as the amount of pressure present. There are usually three types of electrical variables used by pressure transducers: resistive, capacitive, and inductive. So the next device is called a teaching flume. A multi-purpose teaching flume is a small open channel flume with clear acrylic sides to the working section for total visibility of the flow. The channel is fitted with a PVC inlet tank and is designed for free discharge into the hydraulics bench. The flume is mounted on a rigid framework and can be tilted by the use of a calibrated screw jack, which allows accurate slope adjustment of the channel. The inlet tank incorporates a steering arrangement to diffuse the water flow prior to entry into the channel, ensuring smooth, uniform flow. The level in the working section of the flume is controlled using an overshot wear at the discharge end. Bed pressure tappings and fixing points for models are provided. A longitudinal scale positioned at the top of the channel allows depth gauges and pitot-static tubes to be accurately positioned along the channel length. So the next instrument or device is a pressure transducer. A pressure transducer is a device that measures the pressure of a fluid, indicating the force the fluid is exerting on surfaces in contact with. Pressure transducers are used in many control and monitoring applications such as flow, airspeed, level, pump systems, or altitude. To calculate pressure, the pressure transducer contains a force collector such as a flexible diaphragm, which deforms when pressured, and the transduction element that transforms this deformation into an electrical signal. The shape and methods of transductions are optimized to the requirements of the process that is being measured. The next device that we are about to talk about is the multifunction I/O product. The multifunction I/O product combines common I/O, including analog input and output, counter or timer functionality, into a single form factor to help reduce complexity and meet multiple system requirements. It offers a mix of I/O with varying channels, sample rates, output rates, and other features to meet many common measurement requirements. It is ideal for a wide variety of industry applications such as laboratory automation, research, and design verification. Multifunction I/O devices provide a combination of analog I/O, digital I/O, counter timer functionality in a single device for computer-based systems. The interactive measurement software enables quick hardware setup and visualization. It enables complete customization of measurement and automation applications from a variety of supported programming languages. The next device that we are going to discuss is the data acquisition units, or commonly abbreviated as DAQ or DAS. It is the process of sampling signals that measure real-world physical phenomena and converting them into a digital form. It can be manipulated by a computer and software. So data acquisition is generally accepted to be distinct from earlier forms of recording to tape recorders or paper charts. Unlike those methods, the signals are converted from analog domain to the digital domain and then recorded to a digital medium such as ROM, flash media, or hard disk drives.
We have control valve. So what is a control valve? A control valve is a device used in fluid handling system to regulate the flow, pressure, temperature, or a level of a fluid. It archives this by varying the size of the flow passage in response to a signal from a controller. So yung controller valves daw plays a crucial role in automated process control system in many industrial settings. And now we have hydraulic pumps. So what is a hydraulic pumps? Our hydraulic pumps is a mechanical device that converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy in the form of fluid flow and pressure. It is an essential component of hydraulic system, enabling fluid to be moved from the reservoir to different parts of the machinery under pressure, so thereby powering various mechanical operations. Now, we have Bourdon gauge. A Bourdon gauge is a mechanical pressure measuring instrument that utilizes the deformation of a curve, flexible tube called a Bourdon tube to gauge pressure. When internal gauge increase, the tube tends to straighten due to the elastic deformation of the metal. This movement is mechanically linked to a pointer which rotates across a calibrated dial to display the pressure reading. Electromagnetic flow meter. An electromagnetic flow meter, often referred to as an magnetometer, is an instrument designed to measure volumetric flow rate of electrically conductive fluids. It operates based on Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, which states that a voltage is induced when a conductive fluid flows through a magnetic field. This voltage is directly proportional to the velocity of the fluid, allowing the device to accurately determine the flow rate.
This is the hydraulic cylinder, one of the most fundamental components in any hydraulic system. Think of it as the muscle of the system. It converts hydraulic energy into linear mechanical motion. Here's how it works. When pressurized hydraulic fluid enters the cylinder, it pushes against a piston inside. That force causes the piston rod to extend or retract, depending on which side of the fluid is applied to. This motion can be used to lift, push, pull, or press objects like in construction equipment, factory automation, or even aircraft landing gear. In the lab, hydraulic cylinders are often used in experiments to demonstrate force calculations, pressure relationships, and the effects of flow rate. They are also great for showing the basic principles of Pascal's law, which is the foundation of hydraulics. Next is the hydraulic accumulator. Think of this like a rechargeable battery, but instead of storing electricity, it stores pressurized hydraulic fluid. Accumulators serve a few key purposes. They store energy, maintain pressure, and absorb shocks or pulsations in the system. They are especially helpful in the systems where fluid demand fluctuates or where sudden spikes in pressure can occur. Inside, there's usually a bladder or a piston that separates the hydraulic fluid from a compressible gas like nitrogen. When the fluid is pumped in, the gas compresses and then stores the energy. When the system needs extra pressure or flow, the gas expands, pushing the fluid back into the system. In the lab, accumulators are used to demonstrate fluid storage, energy conservation, and damping effects in dynamic systems. They are essential in understanding how hydraulic systems can be both powerful and responsive. We have the hydraulic power unit or HPU. This is the heart of any hydraulic system. It provides the pressurized fluid that powers everything else. An HPU typically includes a reservoir to hold the hydraulic fluid, a pump to pressurize it, a motor to drive the pump, and various valves and filters to regulate flow and pressure. The fluid is pumped through hoses or pipes to wherever it's needed, like a cylinder, motor, or control valve. In a lab setting, HPUs are used to provide a stable, adjustable supply of hydraulic power to test equipment. They are also useful for demonstrating energy losses, temperature effects, and the importance of fluid cleanliness. By studying the HPU, you get to see the entire hydraulic system in action, from fluid storage and filtration to power generation and distribution. This is the hydraulic test stand. your ultimate diagnostic and training platform in a hydraulics lab. It is essentially a self-contained testing unit that includes components like pumps, valves, sensors, and control panels. You can connect different hydraulic circuits to it, monitor performance, and simulate real-world operating conditions. Why is this important? Because it allows students and engineers to safely experiment with the fluid power principles, diagnose faults, and understand the behavior of different hydraulic components without the risk or cost of damaging a real-world system. Most test stands have adjustable pressure and flow settings, so you can study things like pressure drops, flow rates, valve responses, and system dynamics under various loads.